mark.
That's your 5-minute gun. Now it's time to go boat racing. Here's who will be racing in Heat 1A, presented for Seafair by Graham Trucking. Seafair thanks HomeStreet Boat, proud sponsor of the HomeStreet Bank Cup. To start Heat 1A is just a few minutes away. Seafair reminds you that all for your safety and the safety of those around you, everyone must be out of the water when the hydros are on the Ted Jones race course. Now it's time to go out on the water. Get out of the water and enjoy the world's fastest race boats. Heat 1A, presented for Seafair by Graham Trucking. Now to call Heat 1A is Brad Luce and Nate Brown.
Thank you very much, Kay. As you'll see, all the boats are up and running. They're away from the dock. It's really great to see the 11 out there. Got on a plane. Their fuel control issues hopefully will subside for this heat.
And Nate, we are 3 minutes and 45 seconds to the start, 3:45. Now, for those of you who have not seen this before, our start procedure is a little unique. That's one of the special features of unlimited hydroplane racing. You got a bit of a taste of it with our E350 class, but it is all on a clock start. And we're 3 minutes and 30 seconds away from that start. Our drivers can cut the race course from the front to the back at the lower end of the race course. Thank you, J. Michael Kelly, for giving a perfect example of how you can cut the race course. You can cut the race course from the back stretch to the front stretch up at the north end or the top end of the race course. So this is what we call the milling period, Nate Brown. What are these drivers trying to do?
They're trying to see where they're on the course. They're looking at their timing marks they have, if they're in the right spot at the right time. They also are relying on their radio guys to tell them where the other guys are on the course too as well, because if you turn too soon, you kind of leave that lane open for another guy to be able to snap it from you. So what you want to do is you're trying to do the best you can to do your strategy you had beforehand, but that can be taken away from you. So good drivers, all these guys have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different strategies all in their pocket in case something happens.
In other words, the best laid plans sometimes go awry. Let's take one more look at the boats that'll be here in our Heat 1A, presented for Seafair by Graham Trucking. The U11 J&Ds, presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. That is the bright chartreuse and carnival orange hydroplane. Halfway up the backstretch, it is driven by Jamie Nielsen. The all-white boat that is just now exiting the lower corner and starting up the backstretch, Delta Reel Track. Boat number 1, defending Seafair champion. That is Andrew Tate, who just cut the race course. That is J. Michael Kelly, and he put himself on the inside of Andrew Tate. That's a little bit of the maneuvering we see in the milling period. Nate, that's what you were talking about.
Both those guys were smashing the gas or trying to get up to that 2 straightaway buoy thing, because J. Michael Kelly did not have a lane established until he passes 2 straightaway buoys. So the first buoy he passed, Andrew Tate could have dove right down in front of him. I mean, literally right in front of him, but he didn't need to because JMK had the throttle smashed and he got past the 2 straightaway buoys to establish that lane.
Great example there of cutting the race course to get lane position. Our 4th boat and rounding out our field is coming down to the lower corner. Right now it is the all-red U7 Boitano Homes, driven by Bert Henderson out of Brockville, Ontario, Canada. Nielsen, Tate, Kelly, and Henderson. Minute 20. I don't know if you want to be down here as early as JMK is in the black and red boat, because the other part of the procedure, Nate, you cannot drop below 80 miles an hour. And if they do, they will get a warning from the referees. If they drop below 80, again, it is a penalty. So you can't get up to the top end of the course too early, and we got 2 of them up there bright and early, Nate.
I think they'll make it, but it's going to be tight. They're not going to have a flying start.
50 seconds to the start. So now we'll have to keep an eye on things to see if Henderson is inside Nielsen right now, and I think they are sitting in lanes 1 and 2. And if that's the case, Kelly, the 3rd boat going up the backstretch with 35 seconds, Kelly will be in 3, and that would put Andrew Tate on the far outside. We've had a warning on Bert Henderson and a warning on Jamie Nielsen, the first 2 boats up there, and that is a speed warning. They've got to pick it up. One more warning, and it's not a warning, it's a penalty. Coming up on 15 seconds. 15 seconds to the start off the top end of the course, and it's going to be Henderson in 1. It's going to be Kelly in 2. It's going to be Tate in 3 and Nielsen on the outside. We're 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. And exactly what you said, Nate Brown. There was no speed out there for Bert Henderson in lane 1. Nice start for Nielsen on the outside. It is a good start. It's clean. 4 of them down to the corner. Now we'll see who gets out of that first turn first. Gonna be J. Michael Kelly. And you can see the rooster tail on the outside. That's gonna be Andrew Tate. You've got 3 of them there that are running very close together up the backstretch. Nate, they're running right into that stiff breeze, and they're feeling it.
They're flying that wing. You can see it on the monitor here, but they're really flying that wing. Great boat race right now.
And you see Bert Henderson is back in 4th place. That's because he didn't bring any speed to the start-finish line. Remember, we're going to go 3 times around. J. Michael Kelly.
Oh, looks like somebody got wet here.
Oh, and that is Andrew Tate. He got wet coming out of that corner up there, and it's cost him some speed. Now it's J. Michael Kelly with 1 in the book and 2 more to go. Kelly's got about a rooster tail on the field. Kelly down to the corner first, and the Graham Trucking presents Beacon Plumbing. But what a race for second place. Nielsen had fuel flow problems. Seems to have them ironed out. And I'll tell you what, Andrew Tate still has got ideas about going after Kelly. But Nate Brown, he better keep an eye on his right side rear view mirror. He's got company in Jamie Nielsen.
No, he sure does. He's got a radio guy right there telling him the same thing, going push it, push it, push it, push it, because he's right there ready to grab any mistake. Like that last lap where he got wet. I don't know if J. Michael pushed out or he kind of got caught in the spray, but either way, it slowed him down a bunch. But it's a great boat race. Let's spread it out a little bit right now.
And we do have from the officials a 1-minute warning on the boat in 4th place, the 7, Bert Henderson. It was an 80-mile-an-hour warning, and he got the penalty for doing it twice. That's what can happen when you get up there too early. Kelly down here on lap number 3. This is the final lap. We go 3 times around. Andrew Tate has recovered from taking that bath at the top end of the race course on lap number 1. And now it looks like Jamie Nielsen has said, all right, I'll take my 3rd place points and I'll come home in 3rd. But right now looking really strong. J. Michael Kelly, Nate, looking good up the backstretch.
Yeah, he smashed the gas. It looks great. And I got to hand it to the 11 team, too. They're right in there as well. And he's settling back right now, saving the equipment. But he knows what he's got for a boat now. He knows what he has. Now he can go race his part.
Absolutely. So coming off the top end of the race course, J. Michael Kelly's going to swing out a little bit wide. He will look to his right and to his left. He will see the checkered flag in any form of motorsports racing. That is the goal, is a checkered flag. J. Michael Kelly flies. The U12 Graham Trucking presents Beacon Plumbing, home of the first place finish unofficially in our Heat 1A. Andrew Tate will come home in 2nd place, driving the 1, the Delta Reel Track. And as you said, Nate, great news for Jamie Nielsen driving the 11, the J&Ds presented by Reliable Diamond Tool. Hopefully the fuel flow issue is in the rearview mirror, a solid 3rd place finish. Bert will come home in 4th with a 1-minute penalty for that double 80-mile-an-hour issue.
And sometimes when you know you've got a bunch of fast guys, it's worth that gamble, because if the gamble doesn't pay off, you still have the same points as you had. If it does pay off, you're going to get a few more points.
Well, I'll tell you what, J. Michael Kelly's got to be pretty happy. They got that new sponsorship on board, and just like that, voila, a first-place finish and 400 points. Now, I said unofficial when they came across the start-finish line because the boats still have to go through tech inspection. So, as Mr. Kelly waves to some of the fans, and right below us and to our right, we have the Graham Trucking Hospitality area. And there's a lot of folks over there with Rob Graham and his team, and they're pretty happy to see the HomeStreet Bank Cup for 2019 start that way. 400 points and a first-place finish for J. Michael Kelly.
That is a great way to start his weekend with that first place. And it wasn't just a first place. He was entering into turn 2 on that final lap just as Andrew Tate was just coming down the backstretch. So he had a sizable lead over the rest of the pack.
Yeah, I think it was interesting coming up the backstretch because Andrew was kind of tucked in between boats. He was in between Nielsen on the outside in 3 and Kelly in 1. And that is a tough spot to be in. If you don't believe me, go pull up that race rewind of the final heat in Tri-Cities, and Jimmy Shane will show you what it's like to drive down a very narrow hallway.
Yes.
It's no fun in there. You just don't have any room to work with.
The tunnel of water is what they call it. I mean, and you got to figure they're throwing out 400 gallons of water out of these rooster tails. And they're, 30 30 feet tall and 100 feet long. I mean, that is a lot of water.
And they're wet.
And they're wet.
They are very wet.
And they don't have windshield
Don't forget
wipers
that
on the.
part.
They don't have windshield wipers on the front of these. But Nate Brown's going to go ahead and grab J. Michael Kelly. And congratulations to the Graham Trucking and Beacon Plumbing. That was a great race. Great way to start the weekend. You know, he went into turn 1, in lane 1, came out of turn 1. Just led him around the course for all 3 laps. Great job. Congratulations again to J. Michael Kelly and the Graham Trucking Beacon Plumbing boat.
Yeah, let's take we're watching our Nate Brown with his, there he is down there with his handy-dandy, trusty-dusty wireless microphone, and he will have our first heat winner here very shortly. Getting done talking with his crew. Nate is slowly getting his way out there, and Nate, jump in when you got him, buddy.
I'm right here, guys, with J. Michael Kelly. Just finished a TV interview, and that's all great. Wow.